Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something really cool?
Absolutely, should be interesting.
Awesome. So, everyone's thinking about how to, well, build some serious wealth by 2025, right?
Yeah, it's on a lot of people's minds, I'd say.
And guess what? We found this guide. It's got, like, all the secrets,
Eh.
supposedly.
Oh, interesting. What kind of secrets are we talking about here?
Well, and this is what I love. It's not just about, stacks of cash. It's about making a fulfilling financial future, you know?
Right, like actually enjoying it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And get this, it even dives into some pretty surprising trends. We're talking AI, NFTs, the whole gig economy thing.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Sounds pretty relevant for 2025.
Totally. And speaking of trends, one thing that really jumps out from this guide is the emphasis on tech, like really embracing technology.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's almost like traditional wealth building is taking a back seat.
Yeah, it's not your grandpa's stock market anymore, right?
Okay.
So what really stood out to you in terms of like the tech side of things?
I think the focus on digital assets, like cryptocurrencies, NFTs, that whole world.
I've heard about those, but to be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Well, you're an art enthusiast, right? Think of NFTs like owning a one-of-a-kind digital masterpiece, like your own digital Monet or Picasso.
Okay, now that's an analogy I can get behind. So instead of buying a physical painting, I'd own a digital version. But it's like unique.
Right, exactly. It's like owning the original digital file. And the guide even mentions that some NFTs can potentially appreciate in value over time.
So kind of like how a rare painting might become more valuable as it gets older.
Exactly. But of course, with anything new, there are risks. The guide really stresses doing your research. Look into different NFT marketplaces, understand the technology before you jump in headfirst.
Smart advice. But buying and selling digital art sounds kind of abstract. I like to get my hands dirty. I love making things.
Well, then, this part of the guide might be right up your alley. They talk a lot about the rise of online businesses. And, platforms like Shopify and Etsy have made it insanely easy to set up your own shop.
I've seen those. So like I could sell my crafts online.
You could! And think about it, you've got a global audience right at your fingertips. No need to rent a physical storefront or anything. Plus, you can even use services like Print on Demand, where they handle production and shipping for you.
Wow, that's amazing. Low overhead, reaching a global audience sounds like a dream. But let's be real, running a business, even online, takes a lot of work. And what if it doesn't take off? That's a scary thought, having all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
I hear you. And you're right, relying on a single income stream can feel risky. That's why the guide really stresses the importance of multiple income streams.
Ah, diversification.
Yeah.
That's classic financial advice, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And they touch on the familiar stuff, like investing in stocks and real estate, both for the long and short term. But what really caught my eye is their emphasis on passive income.
Ooh, passive income. That sounds almost too good to be true. Like you're making money while you sleep, right?
Yeah.
But how realistic is that really?
It's definitely possible, but it's not magic. It takes effort up front. The guide talks about creating digital products like ebooks or online courses. You put in the work once, but they can generate income for years to come.
So, like if I wrote an ebook on, say, advanced crafting techniques, people could buy it online even while I'm off doing something else.
Exactly. Or think about dividend-paying stocks. You basically earn money just by holding on to them. The guide even gives some examples of companies with a history of consistent dividends.
Wow, that's amazing. But with all this talk of investments and side hustles, I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed. It's like you need a finance degree to even get started.
That's a valid concern. A lot of people feel that way. But the guide emphasizes that financial literacy is more accessible than ever.
Really?
In what way? Well, they talk a lot about budgeting apps. They can help you track expenses, automate savings. It's like having a personal finance assistant right in your pocket.
Okay, that sounds pretty helpful. But what about taxes? That always seems like a huge hurdle.
The guide is all over that. They stress the importance of tax optimization,
Yeah.
understanding deductions specific to your situation, like for home office expenses or freelance work, can seriously boost your take-home pay. It's like finding free money.
I'm all about finding free money. That's definitely a good tip. Now, something else that caught my attention in the guide was the emphasis on networking and personal growth. It's like they're saying those are as important as the actual financial strategies.
You're hitting the nail on the head. It's all
Yeah.
connected, right? Think about it. You want to achieve financial independence by 40. Imagine having multiple income streams working for you, giving you the freedom to pursue your passions. That's the big picture.
That's the dream, right? freedom and fulfillment. But how does networking fit into all of this?
Well, the guide talks about how surrounding yourself with successful people can be super valuable. They can offer support, open doors to new opportunities. Think about industry events, online forums, mentorship programs. It's all about building a network of like-minded people.
So it's like building your own personal board of advisors. I love that idea. But with all this ambition and hustling, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind, you know? How do we stay on top of everything, keep up with this constantly changing world, and still have time for, well, ourselves? It can be overwhelming.
I agree it's a balancing act. And the guide really emphasizes resilience and adaptability. Staying informed about market trends. Things like green energy, AI, remote work solutions, those are areas that are like primed for growth.
So being ready to pivot, embrace change, and yeah, definitely prioritize self-care too, right?
Absolutely. Taking care of your mental and physical well-being is essential. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. So true. But what about when things don't go as planned? Because let's be honest, failures happen. We all stumble sometimes, right?
Yeah, setbacks are inevitable. It's part of the process. The guide's big message here is to reframe those setbacks as learning experiences. What can you take away from it? How can you grow from it?
That's such a healthy way to look at it.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing from the guide that I just have to bring up because it kind of surprised me. They talk about the importance of giving back.
Oh, yeah. That was a really interesting point. It might seem counterintuitive when we're talking about wealth building, all right? But they make a strong case for generosity.
So like supporting causes you believe in.
Exactly. It can actually amplify your efforts in the long run. It builds a positive reputation, creates unexpected opportunities. It's like the more you give, the more you receive. Wow, that's really powerful. So it's not just about accumulating wealth, but also about making a positive impact. I love that. All right, so to wrap things up, what would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners who are, ready to conquer 2025 and build that fulfilling financial future?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination of things, really. Embracing technology, diversifying your income, mastering those financial basics.
Investing in yourself,
Yeah.
staying adaptable.
Exactly. And don't forget, resilience and generosity, those are your secret weapons.
Love it. And, to leave you with a final thought, what's one small step you can take today, inspired by this guide, to start building that incredible future? Think about it, take action, and just watch as the possibilities unfold. Until next time, happy diving.